here tonight. Add this to the resume. And the Nihus Racing's got it.
Here it is, 2023 Outlaw Grass Drags and Snowmobile Swap Meet in Princeton, Minnesota. Right away they started off with the memory lane. Here is the rep tent that they had. I really like some of these old sleds, and the work and the condition that they're at is just impeccable. Pretty amazing. The cool thing with these old sleds is you'll see they don't have graphics on a lot of them, so they hand painted them here, like where it says this store, that is like hand painted in. I don't know a lot about Rep snowmobiles, but it was a pretty big manufacturer in the day, so I can't really tell you what all these models are, but I just thought they were pretty cool, the amount of them that they had and the shape that they were in. In the back corner you can see it starts their mini bike collection. It was a pretty big thing for manufacturers to also produce like mini bikes and dirt bikes back in the day. And then here you can also see like trikes and then an old, kind of like an ATV type thing there. Here they had an old Skidoo Blizzard. I like the design that it had with like the gloss black and then just the vinyl stickers that they had on it as well with the coloring. Here's where some Polaris is, Kawasaki, and a John Deere sled that they had. So that's an old 440 Invader Kawasaki. To the right is one of the old Storm Specials. And then here's an old Sprint Fire John Deere. And to the left there is a TX 500 Polaris. The next shot had these cool vintage kind of snowcross sleds. So this was a 93 cross-country sled that Kirk Hibbert raced back in the day. To the left there are a couple Arctic Cats with that old retro graphic look on them. Those are pretty cool. Another Skidoo there just behind those. And then on this trailer they had some old cross-country sleds. That's one of my favorite there, the 97 ZR 440s. That's kind of when they first came out with like the lime green look to them. Some XC Polarises, older Polaris racing sled right here. Once again has that hand-painted logo on it. And this one right here said Limestone Cowboy. I thought that was pretty cool. And then up on the trailer they had, looks like a cross-country sled. I think it said Selby on it. So the West Selby sled, 03 Arctic Cat race sled, and then this was a Ross Martin IQ right there. I'm not sure if it was a mod or a 440 race sled, but usually the mod sleds had the headlights removed, so who knows. Here they had some of the vendors to the right, and Thomas Snow Sports had their setup right here. Thomas was the only dealer that I did see there. Most times at like Hades you'll see a lot of different types of dealers, or you'll have the manufacturers there. Here was a cool looking Riot sled, kind of had that old Timberwolves jersey look to it. Had to check out some racing right away, so this is the first of some of the shots. During the racing, I'll just let the announcer do the talking.
Jones in 1, Parson in 2, Rempel in 3, Seabolt in 4. Range up to 12 foot. Identifying UV dye. This is something you gotta have.
For those of you that don't know, here is a preview and what a swap meet looks like. Basically anything and all that you can find and want for motorsports, you're going to find it there. Not just snowmobiles. I mean, there's going to be four-wheelers, dirt bikes, all that. I mean, whatever people have in their garage, they're cleaning it out and bringing here trying to sell it. Here they even had a whole bunch of UTVs that you could check out. They drag raced these actually the day before, I believe, on Friday. So that was pretty cool to see some of the videos online. even let the kids have fun and drag race these 120s or put 200 motor in them, 120 sleds with a 200 motor in them. But it's just rows and rows of these right here. Just pickup trucks and trailers and most of what you can imagine that would come out of someone's shop or garage you can find in here and purchase. Like right up by this Yukon over here, this person had tables set up with a whole bunch of parts. Right around in the next row, this person had a cross-country sled, Polaris cross-country sled that I thought was pretty cool. And then he was also selling some wreck lifts, is the name that I know of them, but was selling some of these lifts if you need to work on them in a garage. Those things are great. Some more parts and stuff to the left of this guy right here. This sled was pretty cool. It's almost like the smaller 200 sleds that they have. So it's a snow pony. I'm guessing it's for like a junior or like a kid's sled, but cool old lawnmower that this guy fully restored. I talked to him for a little bit. It was nice to kind of be able to interact and talk with these people with stories about rebuilding these things. The Ink King Jr. Here is a Blade snowmobile. So if anyone remembers these Blade snowmobiles, they were built back in, I want to say, the late 90s, early 2000s. What they did is kind of had this revolutionary M10 suspension in them. So pretty cool to see that.
You're the Hyper Sports. Getting ready to do battle. Don't blink, and you might want to plug your ears if you haven't heard a twin screw blower on nitromethane. 4 cylinders, 900 plus horsepower they say they can produce, and then some into the moon and back. Here we go. Outlaw action. Dominic Ernst in Eagle 1 in lane 2. 500 foot, you got a lot of stuff going on. Bells and whistles to get it all in line. Here we go. Wow. Dominic Ernst, you see that? Johnny out of Navan, Manitoba will be in lane number 2. This will be our final out Pro Extreme 55. Chad, Jenny, Nyhus, directors, Scotty Kosman at the controls there, and he looked very consistent. Minnesota here bringing the stuff, bringing the A game. Scotty Kosman is going to put it to him here tonight. Add this to the resume. At the Nyhus Racing, Scotty Kosman with a 3.871.
Right, killed all the flies. What did I get at the 2023 Princeton Outlaw Grass Drags and Swap Meet? Now, when I went there, I didn't really have anything huge that I was looking for. Probably looking for some parts for animal. So this is what I picked up. Right away, when I walked in, I saw this shirt and super pumped on it. I'm a huge Back to the Future fan. So this right here was just awesome. It's back to the 80s. So at ERX, they do a snowmobile ride-in for like vintage sleds. And they made these shirts this year with that retro look for the old Back to the Future movies. And then they had this like old phaser on there. So I'm like, I saw it right away when I walked in, and I'm like, I have to have that. Walked around because I'm like, it's right out of the gate. I'm gonna go see if there's anything else if I'm gonna blow my money on before I need any cash. Maybe I have to run and get some more cash, but didn't need all my cash, and as I was leaving and I was coming out, I picked up this shirt. So it's a long sleeve. It's black, but kind of like a faded almost black. It has like almost like a brown tint in it. So super pumped on this shirt and excited to wear it this winter on rides and everything. And I really want to make it to the Midwest Ride-In, as you can see right there. I really want to make it this year at ERX. So hopefully it kind of ties in with, I don't remember if it's on a race weekend or not, but anyway, that is pick number 1 that I got there. The second one was this right here. So these here were, this guy had all these hats here, which you saw in the videos of these Arctic Cat hats. I actually had this hat, but in purple back in high school, and I have no idea what I did with it. So I was pumped when I saw that they had this hat in black. The only downside is I didn't try it on before I purchased it, and it is a little small. So like putting it on, it's a little small, as you can see there, but it still works. Like going forward, it'll stretch out a little bit. I'm pretty maxed out on the snapback on the back, but that's kind of like hats back in the day. They didn't make them, you know, like newer hats like they are today. They didn't make them as big as they were now. I swear there's a lot more space now and just a lot better design in hats now these days, but I had to have this vintage hat right here. So picked that up for 20 bucks. Didn't even talk the guy down because still, I had plenty of cash, and even though it was the end of the day on Sunday, I just said, you know what? I'm gonna give him what he's asking for because it's super cool and very pumped on that hat. Last pick that I had was right here. I picked this up from Bowerly Racing. It's a Skidoo handlebar pad. Now, as you know, I ride Yamaha and Arctic Cat. So why did I pick up this Skidoo pad right here? Well, I have future plans of what I'm going to do with these handlebar pads. So this is one of the race sleds, the new Skidoo style handlebar and everything. So I picked this up for 10 bucks, and once again, didn't haggle, didn't offer them less or anything like that. 10 bucks to me was a fair price for a brand new handlebar pad. So pick that up as well. So yeah, I mean, I guess I'll give you a little teaser with what I'm gonna do. I've been kind of want to keep it secret, but so customization is basically what I'm thinking. And I have something in my basement right now that I'm going to set up and use these for. So that's why I got this right here. That was my final purchase of it. Comparable to Heydays, I actually think the swap was about similar to what Heydays had. Is not the size of it, because Heydays is obviously bigger, but just what they had and the variety. And then if you have, say, a mid-90s, early 90s sled, there are parts galore. So you can pick up basically anything you need for a lot of those older, like say, Arctic Cat, like an old ZR 440, 580, something like that. Or if you had like a Skidoo Mach Z or MXZ, tons of parts like that for it. So if that's what you're looking for, the Outlaw Grass Drags are great. Go on Saturday as well. Before they were shutting down, I got there at about noon. So most of the swap was kind of, everyone had sold a lot of what they had. They were clearing out, and there were some empty spots in there. So I bet if you go on Friday, especially like Friday morning or noon or whenever they open up, that would be the best time to hit them up. Going Friday would definitely be your better bet. I wanted to, but I had to work. So what do? You just kind of go with what you have, and that's what I did. But super pumped on what I picked up, and even though it was not as much as I wanted, it's definitely some good finds in there and good deals and prices on it. So it made the drive worth it to go down. They had decent swap for what it was for Saturday, and picked up a few items. So if you like this, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you.